again. It's another week. Time for some more Super League Raw. Good evening, sir. Are you well?
Well, how are you?
Yes, very well indeed. Very well indeed.
Super.
Good to be back as always. Just doing a few little shares to the community. Speaking of the community, those who are early starters, make sure you share it with all your friends. Let's get them in Super League Raw. Let's get them watching on a Tuesday night as we discuss all things Super League. So where do we start? I'll tell you where we'll start. A bit of a to-do going on between the Huddersfield Giants and the Catalan Dragons.
Yeah, and it's not like Gary Hetherington to throw his oar into the mix, but he has done.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he?
Yeah, he supports development of French rugby league, where apparently Huddersfield has said they're not
particularly
fond of it. Yeah, so take from that what you will.
Yeah, I mean, Steve McNamara has severely seen his rear on that one, hasn't he? He's not very happy at all.
The size of that dummy that he's spat out, yeah.
Yeah, and in some respects, the result at the weekend probably stung a little bit. I mean, I saw I think it was the managing director of Huddersfield come out saying that he doesn't understand how McNamara knows what was said when it was a confidential meeting. But I think
somebody's said
something.
Somebody said something. And on the back of that, suddenly the rumours start going round about a 14-team Super League next season. So
yeah, but again, that's been kiboshed, hasn't it? That's been
kiboshed.
Yeah,
but it's reared its head again.
Yeah, it has. And
after the comments made supposedly by Huddersfield.
I mean, my personal view is because of the round robin fixture, it makes perfect sense. And I think the way Lee have recruited, credit to them, it's booming. And Featherstone, it's booming bust, isn't it? I mean, they really, rather than wait to be promoted, they've tried to get a team assembled beforehand. So it's one of them. It'll probably rumble on, but I just thought, I thought it was a bit. If it has been said behind closed doors, I think Catalan now are very firmly a part of the structure, aren't they?
Yeah, and I'm not opposed to it personally, but I do generally think now it's time to bring in to make it a 14-team league. I don't know whether people agree or not, but these. I mean, I think we play Huddersfield away twice.
It's ridiculous.
At the end of the season,
it's ridiculous. There's capacity. They're already doing it that way anyway. Yeah. I mean, it's 20 at the moment. It's 27 rounds, isn't it, including Magic Weekend, where of course you play 26 fixtures plus Magic. Yeah, so you play 26 fixtures plus the Magic and play each team home and away. It makes sense.
And therein lies the problem. Making sense on the RFL don't necessarily go up hand in hand these days.
Yes, as my health and safety manager used to say, Dave, there's common sense is not common, and it was a very wise word indeed. Good evening to Jamie Humes, who agrees with us. Straight in is Mr. Humes tonight. Dylan Mel, good evening to you. Also Uncle Freddie McGilvery in the room very early doors this evening.
How's Jerry doing?
I'm sure he's tickety-boo. How more importantly is Jermaine doing? Freddie, give us
Jermaine. Well, they call him Jerry, don't
they? They do indeed. Alex Sharp is with us as well. Me and Alex getting into Alex is really looking forward to us talking about the Wigan game. I mean, back Wigan across the board last week.
Listen, we got no room to talk.
Not really. No. But actually, even the fans forum went Wigan by 18. But anyway, we'll get to it. I mean, a lot of injuries, aren't there? I mean, a lot of injuries, end of season injuries.
And it's not even that close to the end of the season yet. We've got a good few weeks left, but Hull KR and Castleford say they're struggling to field a 17. Hull KR blooding a lot of youngsters this weekend.
Yeah. Salford as well, mate. Salford are in dire straits where squad's concerned.
If you're a Toulouse and a Warrington fan is the fact that Wakefield play Castleford and Castleford say they can't. They can only get
big opportunity. Yeah, big opportunity that for Wakefield. You'd think at the weekend. I mean, if Castleford, like I say, in dire straits. Good. Just staying with Huddersfield for a minute. Kevin Nagama, right out of left field.
Yeah, that kind of landed just after we'd finished last week.
Yeah,
right out of left field. So where does that leave Toby King? Or I know that
Ricky Latelli's
rumoured to be off.
Well, these are let's have a quick look. One we prepared early. It's like it's almost like we practice as we do.
It's almost like we planned this, isn't it? Sometimes.
Surprising, really. It just worked out nicely again. But yeah, if you look at Castleford, I mean, we'll just quickly go through the teams. I think, certainly the first two names on the Castleford list there, Darrell Alferts and Danny Richardson on current form. I think the Cas fans will be very keen to get them signed up for 23.
Yeah. Gary's gone on loan this week as well.
Which I think, will help him. Whitehaven as well. So, proper opportunity there for him to get. And just as we're talking, Casford, Andy and Sue drop in. Alex Sharps says he'd bring Lee and Featherstone up. How can you expect teams bottom of the championship to beat Lee, who's bringing in? Exactly, yeah, there's a massive goal between Lee and
Lee have been rumoured to be bringing in all sorts of players for next season. We've already got Ferguson.
Yeah. Well, they've recruited, they've got Charlie Lamslab was announced this week, wasn't he? So, yeah, I mean, they're doing a lot. And then we come down to Catalan Dragons. To be fair, 4 big players there. I mean, there's more than this. I've just picked out the ones that will be, household names.
Benjamin Julien, I think he's been a little bit disappointing, I think, and not really getting the game time that he needs.
Yeah. Played well at the weekend, though.
Pardon?
He played well at the weekend.
He did, but I don't think he's kicked on quite as well as he thought he was going to when he left Warrington. No. I must admit, Michael McAlorum still a good player.
Yeah, Dean Wari and Sammy Sony Lange, of course, the right and left centre. Both at the moment not signed on yet for 2023. Lange, of course, signed last year, remember, for Wakefield, and then turned his back on Wakefield to remain at Catalan at the last minute. So that's going to be interesting. Huddersfield Giants again, big names there. Latelli, Cudjoe, Golding, Greenwood, McQueen, and absolutely would be.
Joe Greenwood as well, but he's kind of had an injury hit a couple of years, I think. Joe Greenwood. But Chris McLean, I mean, that guy is. He's
had a storm in 22. He's had a storm in 22. If he's not in the dream team, something's wrong.
He's got to be the first name on the team sheet.
He's got to be certainly
pretty close to it. He's just. I mean, I don't know whether Huddersfield fans will tell us anything different, but from what I've seen him in, he's magnificent.
Yeah, he's been a monster this year, mate. He's been a monster this year. Hull FC, we're expecting lots of changes there. We know Luke Gale is probably going. Lovadua brought over for a year. Chances are I'd expect him to. They'll be looking to keep him on. And then Houghton and Cameron Scott. Two players there.
Jake Connor on that list because there's still rumours flying around that.
But he's he is under contract, so I mean, it's one of those.
There's a lot of growing strength in the rumours that he's off to the Raiders next year.
Yeah, well, and he's a player that will have that. He'll back himself to go over to the NRL.
Gale to Warrington will go away as well. I can't see it happening.
Saying that, I said Josh Maguire. I didn't think Maguire or Duffy had come, but there you go. We'll get to Duffy in a minute. OKR, Vete, Corbin Sims, who was magnificent against Warrington at the weekend, Ben Crooks and Tagaranji, we know he's going. He's not been offered a contract for next year. Then Leeds, Brad Dwyer, a lot of rumours, of course, continue to persist. St. Helens, they've seemed to have put a bit of cold water on that in recent weeks. Zach Hardacre, will he get a contract? Thompson's a big one. Briscoe's been a great pro. Would we expect him to stay on? I don't know. Be interesting to see what happens there.
It'd be interesting to see what happens with James Roby with regards to the Brad Dwyer's situation.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's probably why it's got a bit quiet in it. Salford Red Devils, Levette, we know, was being told surplus to requirements. A lot of rumour that he was off to the Giants. That's not been confirmed.
Yes, I heard that as well. Elijah
Taylor, also up for grabs next year. Been steady. I think he showed glimpses of his quality, but be interesting to see what happens with Taylor. And then, of course, Lucky and Burke. And then Saints, to the old guard, Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, James Roby.
I think LMS might sign on for another year.
Yeah, rolling contract, I'd agree. And then, of course...
I'm not... I think that the decision on Roby is purely down to James Roby himself.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. He's like the Ronaldo of rugby league, and he'll dictate if he stays or if he goes. Toulouse Olympic. There's some certainly Armitage. That's a hell of we've been impressed with Guy Armitage this year for Toulouse. Pelissier as well. Paul Macron and Marion there. But certainly, I think
Pelissier going to retire because.
Possibly, yeah, but I think the big one's Armitage. I think he's been a player this year.
And I think that depends whether Toulouse stay in Super League or not.
Yeah, he's probably edging.
He's going to have plenty of Super League teams sniffing around him if they go down.
Especially if the as you say, they go down. Then of course Wakey, Arona for Fita, a lot of James Batchelor there. Missed the S out, apologies. Jacob Miller as well. Well, we've heard that Miller's off to Cast. That's not been announced yet.
Yeah, Wigan as well was a rumour.
Yeah,
rumour. I saw this week.
Well, as you
I'm
can see
not
at the
so
bottom
sure
there,
about that, but
well, you see there at the bottom. I mean, Luluai and French, two players who can play in the halves. French.
I think Luluai will go. I think Bevan French will be at Wigan this time next year.
Well, the way he's playing, I think they've got to try and accommodate them both. I mean, the two of those are on fire. And then finally, Warrington, and we know Malone's going, we know Widdop's going again. Cast strongly rumoured there. No word on Davis yet as to where he's ending up.
Lee's going, apparently, yeah. As is Jack Hughes.
Yeah, Jack Hughes won't be offered a contract. I've not heard anything concrete on that, but that I just don't see happening. So, a lot of big names there. A lot of seasoned Super League players there.
They would make a good squad.
You know what, that could be a job, couldn't it? Yeah, man, you could certainly make a squad out of that going into next year. And then of course, just for a moment, humorous everybody, another signing for Warrington. This time it's Dufty, who's coming over from Australia, of course.
He's already here.
He landed today. You're quite right. In terms of the player himself, who he is, what he does, to be fair, 94 games in the NRL with 45 tries. So that's a very handsome strike rate, almost 1 in 2 in what is a very, let's be fair, the premier competition in rugby league. And of course, Warrington announced it last week. This was just having a quick look now. This is how they announced it. For those of you who didn't see the promo, this is. Oh, hang on a second. My apologies. Let's just. Hang on a second. Just get it up. This is the problem, you see. And do you know what I need? I need an
live
assistant.
TV, folks. Live TV.
I need an assistant. That's what I need. I need an assistant. That is definitely what I need.
A glamorous assistant, sir.
Well, just an assistant would be nice. But here we go. Anyway, this is how Warrington now. So just turn the volume down on that a little bit before we start. And Darryl Powell. Darryl Powell was talking about, and I'll tell you what, talk about put pressure on the lad before he even comes over, putting him in the same bracket as Jay Field before he's even touched on the field. I think it's quite something.
The lad's got speed.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about the fact the lad has got speed.
Yeah.
But his defence for a fullback is dodgy, to say the least.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, on the topic of defence, yet again in the Leeds game, Jay Field showing, by God, does he time his tackles well on one-on-ones.
Of course he does, yeah.
Doesn't he? It's proper quality tackling.
Yeah. Jay Field's just a superb player. But yeah, I mean, he's quick.
He is quick. He knows where the
Got
try
a good
line
step
is.
on him. He can score tries.
He's got a lot in attack, hasn't he?
Yeah. I would much rather play him at 6 than at 1, I must admit.
Well, I mean, I think for me, one thing's for certain, and I'm going to be controversial when I say this, Stefan Ratchford. I love Stefan Ratchford as a servant to Warrington, but as the Hull KR game showed, when pressure is in a game, Ratchford, for me, he just goes. His head just goes.
As I said last week, we had numerous examples of fullbacks putting a winger into rows out of the stand.
Yeah.
And Ratchford basically pulled out a chair and wheeled them along in it so they could put the ball down under the sticks. Love Stefan Ratchford. He's been a great servant to the club. And I hope he's not watching.
Well, if he is, he certainly won't have another photo talk with my lad. But anyway, Lewis Senior, is that the shortest loan ever? Lewis Senior at OKR?
I know, I saw that, yeah.
That's got to go down as one of the shortest.
He got off the bus and a taxi turned up to take him back.
Yeah. Oh, I hope somebody there. How old are the clips Andy and Sue are saying? I don't know Andy and Sue, to be quite honest with you.
It could very well be the wrong Dufty. No,
it could be the wrong Dufty, yeah, exactly. It could be the wrong one coming knowing our transfer record. I'll tell you what was interesting though, when Maguire was signed, that it was a Fitzpatrick signing. He let that slip in the interview.
Yeah.
And for me, that's Warrington. As long as the CEO is signing players It was him who brought over Inglis. You know, I'm sorry, but you know, and Powell come out and he's had a lot of combos. Probably after he's told he's coming.
I mean, Josh Maguire is going to be one of two things. He's going to be magnificent, or he's going to be suspended.
Well, we saw that with Napper, didn't we? Albeit Napper's toned it down a bit.
But Josh Maguire, I mean, he's the epitome of grub, as the Aussies say.
Alex Sharp there said just signed another 2 years, hasn't he? Who's that? Who's that, Alex? Give us an indication of who you're talking about there. We move on at a bit of a pace. So just clarify who's signed on for another 2. Go on, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he was. I think he was named as the biggest grub in Aussie rugby.
Yeah.
You know, he's got to watch himself because he won't get away with that kind of thing over here.
You won't get away with that in any league, will you?
No,
you know, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Alex, Rashford has signed on for another 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's what we're saying, Alex. Can't believe that has happened because, I mean, Powell came out and said he saw him in the halves. And let me tell you, as a Warrington fan, he should not be in the halves. You know, he's been a decent fullback over the years, you know, good 7, 8 out of 10. But when you're in the pressure cooker of a game, grand finals, this, that, the other, I'm sorry, but, you know, I've never.
He did get his ankles and his kneecap removed in one grand final with a perfectly legal tackle. People, I'd like to have seen if Ratchford had done it on a Wigan player. The referee cards have been flying through the air. He got out that quick, but maybe I think this has been a season too far for him.
And next year will be another season.
I'm hoping with Dean, Williams, Dufty, Thewlis, that Ratchford is going to be taking on more of a coaching and a mentor role.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's the way it goes.
And to be fair, I would see him as a decent coach. Andy and Sue are talking about Eden as a better half. But let me tell you, Greg Eden has had a phenomenal couple of weeks, you know, in different positions. Really, we've always liked Greg Eden. We've always said if he remains fit, he's probably one of the best wingers in Super League. His strike rate is incredible. We say that all the time. So, yeah, great shout, Andy and Sue. Sean Allen Spencer's with us. He's saying that Warrington need a bit of a grub. Everybody's bullying
we do,
us. We need a bully.
My fear is, you know, we got Les Boyd in the 80s and he was magnificent and he was a bit of a grub in Australia. My fear is in the current climate, that he could spend more games sat in the stand than he does on the pitch. That's my biggest fear. We do need that bit of nastiness that maybe Adrian Morley brought a few years ago.
I mean, look, if the Warrington pack can stay on the pitch and stay injury free, it's going to be an awesome.
I mean, you know, Paul Vaughan's no angel.
No, he's not. No, he's quality player, Vaughan. Of all of them that's come over, Vaughan is a bit of quality. I mean, he's out of this world.
I mean, you start with Vaughan and McKaylee as the props next season.
See, like I say, next year, first things first. Just got to get this one out of the way. But anyway, another great week. Another great week of Super League. Let's remind ourselves of what the fixtures were, and then we'll have.
Before you do, mate, what do you think of Kevin Proctor?
What?
Kevin Proctor being sacked and could be on his way to Super League, they reckon.
Where would he go?
That's the rumour. Warrington probably is. He's in his 30s. He's a bad lad. He's from down under. He fits the bill.
I think. You know what?
No, that was a joke.
I was going to say, mate. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Maybe to the end of the season on loan, but
maybe.
Rumours strong.
Well, the window's shut now anyway, isn't it? The window's shut. Nobody can come in now. That's it. It's over. So, right, these were the games.
Well made, sir.
A fantastic point, well made, sir. Right, there you go. These were the games last week. These are the ones we're going to review. Sit back, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy some fine rugby league football. Some tremendous tries with me, Greg. Get involved. Let us know what's going on. Andy and Sue said the grub is great, but with 6 against, it can be a huge problem. Couldn't agree with you more. It's the gamble that I'm sure Warrington are going to be taking next year. Leeds, of course, took on Wigan to kick off the week. Hull FC, Castleford Tigers. Warrington took on KR. Toulouse, Salford in a very tight affair, as too was the Catalan Dragons against the Huddersfield Giants. And, of course, 2 was Wakefield against St Helens. to lose to a point, is what I would say. And then, of course, Salford ran out pretty straightforward winners. Before we get into the action, as it were, let's take a look at the top performers from round number 20. Here we go. There you go. They were the top performers of round number 20. A lot of Castleford plays in there. Just so that we don't forget, I think it's only right that we give Mr. Radford a big pat on the back. When they came to Warrington earlier in the season, that looked a club that was completely disjointed. There seemed to be a massive disconnect between the fans and Radford. A lot of questions were being asked, but, you know, credit to Mr. Radford. As the season's gone on, Castleford have got stronger and stronger, and at the moment are playing some very, very good rugby league.
Yeah, they are, mate. They are, mate. Fair play. Also, see Sam Powell back in there as top tackler. He's always been thereabouts, top tacklers.
Yeah,
I'm good to see him back there. Decent player, Sam Powell.
Yeah, good player, Sam Powell. Absolutely. Yeah. Right. So let's hopefully we're going to get a bit of a link in a minute. Don't know what's happening there. What's happening there? Oh, we have a gremlin.
Oh,
hello. What's going on here? Oh, hang on, it came in.
Oh, there we go.
Did it come in?
Yeah.
And they went out again.
As soon as you clicked off it, it appeared as if by magic.
I know. How bizarre is this?
Maybe our Wigan friends have hijacked it.
Maybe. Well, there's the whole game. There we go. We're in that. Oh no, it's not liking the Wigan game for some reason. Right. Okay. Well, we'll start with that. So, Greg, just find something to talk about while I sort that out, because I'm not quite sure what's happening.
Okay. Interesting point Martin Sadler made in the Rugby League Express this week. Should the salary cap be listed alongside the matchday squad?
That was an odd one. Yeah, I saw that.
I can. Do you know what? I would give that a go, because always on social media, whenever a club signs a player, other fans jump on the salary cap bandwagon. I think that would be a good idea to settle all those arguments. You might disagree with me, but just as an experiment to see if it works. The other thing that kind of caught my attention, and we'll probably see it if we ever get the highlights of this, is Ashley Klein has been suspended for a poor decision down under. Now, I think we'll see in this game a decision so wrong that it has to. And again, we try to make it clear we have to sometimes, but we're not in the game of slagging referees off.
No.
But there's a decision in this game. Okay, it didn't affect the outcome in the end, but it's just a decision.
Well, credit to Leeds. I mean, nobody saw this coming.
No.
Nobody saw this coming in a million years.
Anyway, here we go. Decisions, sir.
Yeah, we're off and running. Here we go. So yeah, I mean, genuinely, I couldn't believe what we're seeing. Could not believe what we're seeing. Credit has to go to Leeds. Has to. And is this that moment in the season where, for whatever reason, Wigan have been a little bit, dare I say it, not taking the opposition with enough respect, being a little bit complacent? Because it was, I mean, they've been free flowing all year, playing some really good attacking rugby, but in this one, they were so disjointed.
I think it may well be doing Leeds a bit of a disservice there, sir. I think.
I've sent all credit to Leeds. Leeds blew them away, mate.
It clicked.
Yeah, blew them away.
Probably it hasn't happened often this season, but I think they probably had near enough their full squad out. Sure, how Leeds fans will correct me on that.
Well, no season, no Austin again, and
Yeah,
some of the best performances they've had have been without them too.
Exactly, and I think maybe that's kind of what's clicked with Rowan Smith.
Yeah,
and it just clicked.
I thought O'Connor had a sensational game. For Leeds, he played really well. Really liked him, and there's the lad. There's the lad. Yeah, Mr. Bentley, who certainly enjoyed that one. The golden Greg Roach here on about the golden point seems too extreme for a drawing game. I like the idea, 1 point each, and then winner gets the second point. So yeah, they both get a point, and then I think for me, what's wrong with a draw? We've talked about player welfare a lot this year. There's the Field and French combo, which seems to be quite a normal thing this season.
Yeah, you broke a bit there, Dave, but I think I got the gist of it. Player welfare. Why play an extra 10 minutes? Take the draw.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. It's, there's no, pardon the pun, there's no point to it.
No. Just
take the draw.
Take the draw. Absolutely. That was easy. I mean, that will really upset the Wigan coaching staff. I mean, you don't see Wigan concede many like that. Reece Martin's had a good season, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, outstanding. Pushing for dream team, I think.
Yeah, he's done very well. Newman was unplayable.
And rightly man of the match, I think.
Rightly man of the match.
Yeah, I think they got it right this time.
Yeah, really good indeed.
The Wigan defence there was so poor.
The left edge there, those last two tries on the left edge, the right edge of the Wigan defence, really poor, really poor. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's a huge guy. Willie Isa, that, and madly, you think Willie Isa last week was in our team in a week, and then you see that. I think was this the tackle from? Is
this the tackle by Jay Field?
Is it Jay Field or Marshall?
It might well be Marshall. Yeah.
Does he get him? Yeah, he does.
Look at that.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
And you know what? Fair play there. He could have stretched over the try line and give away a penalty. And this is the.
I remember one at Warrington very similar to that. And he got disallowed. You can't go free.
It was a Challenge Cup final in 2019.
Is that what, that's not
when Lynham brushed the leg of the ball playing player and it was disallowed for offside.
You can't do
that. Is not a try.
No, I agree with that.
And the video referee knows the rules and gives it as a try.
Yeah.
Ashley Klein has been stood down this weekend for a shocking decision.
Yeah.
James Child should be stood down this weekend.
I can't disagree.
In fact, James Child should be stood down for the rest of the season for that decision, because that is
it is a shocker. There's no doubt about it. Coming in here, Alex Sharp there going in. He said that man of the match in the stadium was announced as Richie Myler, which
he had a great game.
He had a good game.
He had a great game. Newman was superb.
He was quality. Really, really good to see Newman back playing and playing so well. But yeah, I mean, like I said, and they just kept coming, didn't they? I mean, at no point did they take the foot off the grass. There's the lad, without a contract next year, Dwyer. And he enjoyed that, didn't he? There was a little bit of, why aren't you giving me a contract in that celebration for me?
Yeah, he will be in Super League next season, whether it's for Leeds,
without question,
or somebody else,
without question.
I'd like him to come back to Warrington if I'm being really honest with you. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Won't happen, mate. We've got Danny Walker, mate. I mean, Walker for me is a quality second. And Clark this season has played well. Clark. To be fair, mate, he didn't get much game time.
Yeah,
he didn't get much game time. I mean, we spoke about the rotation. The rotation at Warrington's all wrong. 30 minutes before the props were swapped, and then they did the last 10. And then they did another, I think they did the first 25 of the second half. I mean, you should be swapping your prop forwards, especially when you've got, 2 to 3 prop forwards on your bench. You should be swapping them every 20 minutes.
We'll get into that when we watch the ball.
I'm sure we will. But absolute credit has to go to Leeds. Where's that performance been? Absolutely superb. And you go, and we say this all the time, Caesar and Austin, for me, need to earn the right to get back into that winning team. That was a really solid displayed. Of course, no Leeming between now and the end of the season. I mean, that's a big blow for Leeds.
Well, if Brad Dwyer can carry on playing like that,
Dwyer's a tidy player.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
On the field of play, he's a very, very tidy.
Now, I think did we call this that Cass were going to win? I think.
Yes, yeah, we all went
Not
Cass,
quite
albeit
by the domination that we saw.
Well, no one, and when you consider how Hull started this game,
Yeah,
I mean, we've been saying for weeks now, haven't we? We've been saying for weeks now that we're concerned for Hull FC because of the injuries, and they've always just faded at the end of a season, and it's happening again. It's happening again. And I thought Brett Hodgson's summary was superb. Being hard was pushing, not being solid in defence. And I thought, fair play. He called them out for what it was. But
this was handbags, wasn't it?
Big handbags. I'll tell you as well, they did a close-up on the chairman, didn't they? And Hodgson's in trouble.
Yeah. I half expected the chairman to come and do the post-match interview.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever do that again because I don't think he did himself any favours last time. But my feeling is that Hodgson will do well to be coach at Hull FC next season, and it's a shame that because I do think Brett Hodgson can't be blamed for the injuries. He can't be blamed for some of what's gone on this season, but. Unfortunately, I think he will be. It'd be interesting to know what some of our Hull FC fans think about that. Good evening, Captain Elizabeth Hill. Ben Arkrill is with us as well. Good to see you guys.
How it was clever there. That was
Darryl Clark earlier in the season. Yeah, it was absolutely.
Yeah. He did that against Darryl Clark, didn't he?
Yeah, and to be fair to be fair there to the ref as well. He was the same ref. Kendall was the same ref, I think, who allowed Clark to take his early in the season.
I get sick and tired of players taking quick taps and being pulled back because defence aren't ready. It's the defence's job to be ready.
I agree with you, mate.
Don't pull back somebody who's got a bit of nous and is going to attack an unready defence.
Yeah,
that's what rugby league is all about.
And I mean, Durrell again without a club. Durrell Olfers, Faraimo here going in for and Faraimo would have enjoyed this. I think he might be thinking he got the first two of the second half and. Really turned it around. And from the moment he went in for his second, Cass didn't look back, did they?
No. And you'd be worried as a Hull fan for the way they kind of fell apart.
Oh, big time.
I mean, I thought that was a forward pass, but it was a kick. That was too easy as well.
Too easy. And they're the things that supporters and certainly coaches don't like to see. That's too easy. I mean, it's like you're going to see the Warrington one parcel, very, very similar. It's too easy. Basics of rugby league, man and ball. But here's Eden again. That's a lovely pass. It's a lovely pass. And, again, there's Durrell. And I think, was there a bit of afters after this as well? I think we win. Did we have another? Yeah, we did. Yeah, I think Wynn and Richardson came to blows at the end of this one, didn't they?
Talk about, we'll talk about discipline a bit when we talk about the Catalans game. A strange kind of outcome from that game that we'll talk about, but you just kind of reminded me when he said a bit of afters there. Well, that was a shocker.
Yeah, it wasn't the best, was it? I mean, And again, that was frustration. 36-18, you're 3 scores behind, 20 to go. The game's probably gone, and a player of Sal's quality.
Unless you're playing Warrington, obviously.
Yeah, unless you're playing Warrington. A player of Sal's quality, he's going to be, he's missing now, and at a time where Hull need their, they need as many of the fit and best players on the field to play. He let his team down there.
Yeah, he did. It's not like you say about that. It's the way the season's going. You kind of don't know whether it's going to be a red or a yellow half the time.
No,
but I think that one was a red. It was, it was reckless. It was high.
Yeah. Completely agree with you, mate. Completely agree with you. Good try there. I tell you, it Sutcliffe, I think it was, wasn't it?
It was.
He just about had enough to get to the line. He was puffing at the end of that one, wasn't he? He was like, "Oh God, I've got to go the full length." Oh no!
I think he needed a beer and a ciggy at the end of that
run. Well done, Leeds. And again, Leeds with that win.
Oh, must we?
Put themselves very much now in contention. Hull now, there's the link. Hull. On free fall, Leeds, big 2 points against Wigan. Nobody had fancied Leeds going into that game. Really puts Leeds now in with a shout for the top 6. Right, I was here.
Must we watch this? Must we?
Yeah, I was here, and again, Warrington won this game twice, and twice they lost it.
As I said last week, I couldn't make this game because it was my youngest daughter's prom.
Yeah,
and the stunned silence in the room
Yeah.
When we found the result out was
yeah,
unbelievable.
It was. I mean, you know, Wardle, I mean, I think he scores 2 tries in breakneck speed. I think it's about a couple of minutes between them.
It's
and at that point,
after 5 or 10 minutes,
mate, yeah, you know, 2 Wardle tries right off the bat. You know, 14-0 up. And all of a sudden you're thinking, yeah, happy days. But, you know, I don't, forgive me, I don't know if they show it in this particular highlight reel, but let me tell you what happened before the Hull KR second try. And I mean, this is shades of King, to be fair, to Toby King at his best. But yeah, I mean, you know, at this point, you're 14-0 up. You're 14-0 up. And then, for whatever reason, Warrington trying to keep the ball alive, and hopefully they're going to show it here now, that before the Hull, oh no, this is the kick through, I think, is it? Just the kick through? Yeah, this is the kick through. Well done, Ryan Hall there, by the way. Ryan Hall there.
Right. Yeah, Ryan Hall was injured in the warm-up.
He was doing a fitness test before the warm-up.
He could hardly run. And I didn't go to the match, and I've heard this.
Yeah. Well, Mikey Lewis got took off. Mikey Lewis got took off. He was injured.
Yeah. Not once, and that's never a sin been in a million years, by the way. Not once did we target Ryan Hall's wing. No. What coach sees a player struggling and doesn't tell his side to pepper that player?
Right. So for those who weren't at the game, let me just tell you what's happened in this period of play now. So and this is Warrington's Achilles heel at the moment. So in this period of play here, when Hull KR went over for their try, Josh Fulis kicked out on the full, which is just criminal. You know, a team that's lacking confidence, he kicks out from the full. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, I'm not looking for excuses here, but before this play the ball, there was a clear obstruction. The Hull KR man used his own player as a shield prior to this play the ball, and the referee did not give it. And then from the resulting play the ball, they go in on the right-hand side. Now, you know, don't get me wrong, you know, well done to Hull KR. Warrington are fragile. Any team that are behind against Warrington going into the last 20 minutes will still fancy themselves from now to the end.
But the same thing happened in the Salford game.
It was exactly
got them back in the game. There was such a blatant knock-on that wasn't given.
Yeah.
It was untrue.
But this is criminal. 3 players. He cannot get that out of there.
What is Mulhern?
I don't know. But that is criminal. And that is Warrington. And the moment that goes in, I turned to the people that were me and said, we're going to lose this. Because if you're going to give up an easy try like that, you know, the writing was on the wall. You know, credit to Lachlan Coote. He banged that over from the touchline for 24. And this is an obstruction. He bumps into him.
Yeah, that's a penalty.
It's a penalty all day long. And so but I've always said this: when a team is in crisis, things don't go, you've got to play your way out, because it's those type of decisions. The obstruction before Hull KR's second try that wasn't given, that clearly there, Fulis has been impeded by Coote. Those are the decisions, the marginal decisions that just don't go your way. Yeah. So you've got to play your way out of these problems.
But on the other side of the coin, as I've already said, you've got a player injured that you don't target.
Yeah,
that's the coach.
Yeah,
you've got a coach that brings off or doesn't finish with the forwards who are giving you stability in a platform. When Harrison, when McKaylee
are on,
were on,
and
Bullock were on, we were solid.
Yeah.
So you start with them and you finish with them. You do not have Mulhern anywhere near that game in the last 20 minutes. I'm sorry.
Completely agree with you. It was criminal. I mean, that absolutely criminal. Credit to Sims.
Coaching. And again, I talked
about mate. I'm going to disagree with you. When you've got three, no, it's not. Mate, it's basics of rugby league. If you've got Greg, if you've got 3 defenders, on Corbin Sims and not one of them wraps the ball up, that's not a coach's fault. That's the player's fault. That's the player's fault.
Look at who the defenders are.
Doesn't matter. It's basics of rugby. No, mate.
That's McKaylee, Harrison.
No, mate.
Bullock.
Mate,
that doesn't happen.
Mate, we're going to disagree all night, mate. When you've got 3 defenders, no matter who your team is, any Super League Forum fan who's watching this now, if you've got 3 defenders around a prop forward and he's allowed to give a simple ball out like that so that Parcell can just drop over a line, I'm sorry, that's nothing to do with a coach. But that is application. That
players
is players
on the pitch at that time, then it might be different outcome.
Hey, Mate, they could have done 80 minutes. Mate, those three.
Finish the game. He has to finish the last.
I'm not arguing with that.
Bullock and Harrison on the pitch.
And I'm not arguing with that. What I am arguing with you about is you could have three players who've been in the 79th minute of a game who's played all 80 minutes, knackered. That ball should not come out. That is basics of rugby league. That's passion. That's
and that
desire.
goes back to the coach for not doing his rotations good enough, mate. I'm sorry.
Andy and Sue are a bit worried about us here before now. And look,
we'll never fall out.
We never fall out. It's a difference of opinion. But you're right.
We have a difference of opinion, and then we come around to my way of thinking.
Eventually. No, we don't, sir. Oh, absolutely not. Anyway, and for me, it's Warrington at the moment. I mean, again, like Leeds against Wigan, where did that Catalan performance come from? Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen at Huddersfield?
I don't even want to think about that one, mate.
When Huddersfield came to the Halliwell, nobody gave Warrington any chance at all, and all of a sudden
not wishing to dwell on a point. He has to get his interchanges right. He has to get his starting and finishing players right this weekend, or we are in serious trouble. I talked about David Moyes moments last week.
Completely agree.
This week, David Moyes moments.
Interchanges have to be better. I completely agree. Right. Toulouse against Salford. This was and again, dear me, Toulouse in this one off to a really strong start. And as we put on our Facebook forum, Ted Striker moments at the Halliwell Jones on both this game and the
Wakefield game.
And the Wakey game.
I had a full head of hair before the Wakefield game.
Absolutely, great start for Toulouse in this game. But again, Salford this year, I think Salford in years gone by, you just wouldn't see. They would have lost this, but credit to Rowley. We've been talking all season about the spine of the team: Sneed, game management, Croft, Flair, brilliant in complementing those two. And yet again in this game, they stand up. Ashel Bolt, I believe, got. Had exhaustion, didn't he? He collapsed at the end of this game.
Sorry, that was the ankle tap, wasn't it? It would have been a good try, and then he gave away the penalty because he flopped back on him, silly boy.
Yeah, but no, Ashel Bott with, like I say, with exhaustion. But here's Croft to CO. Is there again, isn't he?
Croft and Brearley, that's a combination,
mate. All three of them, those three. Yeah, I think.
CO raging up the charts, the try scoring charts again.
He's top.
He's a quality player.
He's top, mate. And when you consider, and this is again, I'm not being disrespectful when I say it. He's playing for Salford. He was top try scorer last season. He's back there again. When he signed last year, there was a lot of bit of it. Again, Wigan were rumoured to be sniffing around Ken CO last season.
If he played, and again, I don't want to disrespect Salford, but if he played for a Leeds or a Wigan or a Saints, he'd be up there in contention for Man of Steel.
Mate, look at that.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely superb. Yeah. Croft there, basically gone the full length. Yeah, ran out of juice at the end, but at this point, the damage is done in the Toulouse rearguard. And, Croft, like I say, he's a player. We've said it week in, week out. He's a player. Joel agrees on the day at the moment. Salford can beat anyone. And I agree with you. Salford can beat anyone.
I'm terrified that if we need a win at Salford on the last game of the season,
it's not an easy place to go and get.
I'm not sleeping comfortably with that thought. I've got to tell you.
No, they've played some really good, attractive rugby this year, Salford. Really, really good. Bounce that one, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, you can be, and again, they haven't got the resources that many of the Super League clubs have got. They've had injury concerns all season, but credit to Salford. They turn up.
Got a good coach. Good coach.
Yeah, he's done his apprenticeship, hasn't he, around Lee and Toronto and what have you, and now he's there. And Alex Sharp here trying to tell us that Warrington are all right. Big Al, he's watching. I think our kid's still in Spain, isn't he? But anyway, good to see.
International. He's had an alcoholic beverage, so you might have to.
Rumour has it. Yes, he's been having shots. Disgraceful behaviour. But yes,
I think it was cold tea, sir. I think it was cold tea.
Yes, iced tea in a shot glass. Yes. That's probably what it was. But yeah, no, he's in Spain. We're international. We're international this evening. Marvellous. Right, we then come to a great game. We said last week. When we were doing the predictions, we said, didn't we, last week, it was probably some of the hardest predictions that we've had because on paper they were going to be good, tight games. And again, a real battle, a real good seesaw battle between two very, very good teams this season. They'll be disappointed with that, though.
Yeah, that's again, we criticised Hewlett for that, and even seasoned players are dropping the ball.
Yeah.
That's how to open a defence up. That's a great ball. That's a great
of course, I mean, and they went into this game, of course, with no Davis and no Yaha. I think they had Romano. I know it was Romano on one wing, and I'm trying to remember who was on the other wing. Who's that lad? That's Romano. Yeah. So Romano on one wing. God, who was on the other wing? It was Laguerre, wasn't it? Yeah. So, like I say, the starting wing is not there. There's Chris McQueen again. Look at that. Boom, straight through it. Daniel Levy, in you go. Thank you very much. And speaking of under the posts, that was forward a mile. But speaking of under the post tries, really enjoyed the women's nines on Sunday, Greg. We were at the women's nines, me and you.
Yeah, my daughter making a Warrington Wolves debut.
In the AJ. Oh no, we fully enjoyed it. It was a really well organised event. Some really good play, and well done to York City Knights, who went away with the spoils. Congratulations!
I mean,
to the winner of York City Knights.
Yeah, I mean, great. I then went to watch the Warrington Wolves play Bradford Bulls, and what a team! Warrington Wolves have got women's team.
Yeah, they played well again, didn't they? I believe.
Absolutely awesome. I mean, when they come up against Leeds and York and Saints, that'll be the test. But my word, they've got some good players. And if anybody's out there wanting to please get along and watch some women's rugby league.
It's good.
Absolutely fantastic game.
It is good.
Fantastic game.
Having a go. But just saw a moment ago there, Joe Chan. Joe Chan had a decent game for Catalan in this game, as well as Benjamin Julian.
Both of
those two. What's that?
He was in the performers of the week.
He was in the performers of the week. Super League themselves gave Chan one of the jerseys. Well, spoiler alert, we haven't, but yeah, Chan had a decent game without questioning that one. And Catalan, massive result for Catalan. They've been having a bit of a tough
they've
run.
had a lot of injuries as well, and they've had a few dodgy results on the back of that. But yeah, that was one of those that was really too close to call, and it proved so.
Absolutely. And then finally, we travelled to the AJ Bell, which not the AJ Bell, my apologies, the Be Well Stadium up in Wakefield. And again, we couldn't believe what we were seeing. Wakey.
Oh, I was for 83 minutes. I was worried.
Yeah, and again, it's a lovely cut-out ball. That's a cracking pass from Lionel there. But yeah, I mean, credit to Saints in half time. Wakey were completely outplayed. I think Kristen Wool come out and said that first half, Wakey
Saints were hardly in it.
What's Wellesby doing there?
What's all that about?
Don't know. And this one, and again, like the Wigan piece, that for me is disrespecting your opposition. And had Saints lost this game, that moment there for me,
I couldn't understand what was going on there.
No, well, villain to hero, wasn't it? Villain to hero, because he sets this one up for Grace. Grace, obviously, in a minute. Yeah. And for those who haven't seen it, he gets the drop goal that wins the game for Saints.
Yeah, I thought Regan was at least in row 3 of the stand there when he put that ball down, but the linesman disagreed. I'm glad the linesman disagreed, I must be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting his air miles in for when he gets to France, mate. So anyway, but good hands there. Thank you. No, good hands. That really good hands there. Has to be said from him, and of course, this lad's had he's been given a bit of plenty of outings this year.
Is this the drop goal?
This is the drop. I think this is the drop goal in a minute.
Yeah.
Benison, though, just saying, Benison, he's had quite a few starts, hasn't he, this year?
Stepped up as well. Right, pause there.
Go on, mate.
How many times have you seen that given as a knock-on?
It does go back, though.
Doesn't matter. How many times have you seen that given as a knock-on?
Yeah, I mean, it does go back. I mean, if you look at where his head is, if you look at where the ball is, and then we play it on, that's going back.
9 times out of 10, that's given as a knock-on.
Well, let me put it another way. Had Wakey had done that,
it'd have been a knock-on.
And this goes back to what we're saying about Warrington. When you're down there, when you're down and dirty, things don't go your way.
I mean, don't get me wrong, and no disrespect to Wakefield fans, I was so delighted, and this is what upsets me about Warrington. They've got me celebrating a Saints win. That's what hurts the most. But I know Wakey fans must be how many times did Saints do that to Warrington?
Wait,
I would have been, as a Wakey fan, I would have been devastated. Devastated.
It's bad enough being a Warrington fan this season, but Wakey fans must be really concerned.
Oh, you'd be devastated as a Wakey fan.
They must be concerned.
Yeah,
you know, they've come up there. They've come up there against Saints. They put a right good effort in. But as we said, we're going to get onto the predictions in a minute. Maybe this week against a depleted Castleford side. Maybe that, good timing for them. But we'll get into the predictions in a minute. So before we do, I think it's that time of the week where we'll take a look at the team of the week. Is where
highlights of TV highlights of the week, as Harry Hill might say.
Is that what Harry says? Why does he watch the show?
Highlights? No.
Oh right. I'm only joking, sir. I'm only joking. Right. So yes, let's get into it. Let's go and see who made up. And of course, I'm sure that people will have their views on what they're about to see. But ladies and gentlemen, this is your team of the week for round number 20. Enjoy. It's the Super League World Team of the Week for round number 20. Here we go again. And at fullback, it will be Greg Eden. He's a great on the wing. He's great at standoff. He's also great at fullback. Who'd have knew? 3 brilliant assists for Mr. Eden in this game against Hull FC. Really was sensational. Well done to Mr. Eden. Where will he play this week? We'll have to wait and see. And number 2 is Barreto Ferramo of Castleford Tigers. 2 tries just after half-time. Put his old employers to the sword. They never looked back, Castleford, once he put them in the lead. Well done indeed to Mr. Ferramo. And number 3, it will be Harry Newman of Leeds Rhinos. Anybody who watched the game on Thursday night could be nothing but impressed with this superb centre against the Wigan Warriors. Surely a shoo-in for the World Cup. At number 4, it will be Jake Wardle of the Warrington Wolves. Despite being on the losing side, 2 very good tries and a try-saving tackle was not enough to get Warrington Wolves the 2 points. Of course, Hull KR coming from behind twice in that game to win at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. At number 5, it's Darrell Althurst of the Castleford Tigers, still without a club for 2023. 4 tries, now 15 for the season. Hot on the coattails of the top 3 try scorers for 2022. Mr. Althurst in fine form. And number 6, it will be Brodie Croft of Salford Red Devils. Yet again, found himself in the team of the week. 2 more assists in this game for Brodie. He is without question one of the main reasons that they now find themselves in the top 6 going into round 21. At number 7, it's Danny Richardson of Castleford Tigers. Another great display from him again this week. 7 goals, vitally kicking them. Look at those kicks in general play and, of course, the attacking kicks. He has been superb with the boots over the last 3 or 4 weeks. At number 8, it will be Corbin Sims of Hull KR. That assist was crucial in the game against the Warrington Wolves, fighting off 3 would-be tacklers to put Matt Parcell over for a very simple try. He also ran very strong throughout the game. And at number 9 will be Matt Parcell, not necessarily for his try, but in the last 20 minutes when Mikey Lewis went off injured, it was Matt Parcell who really stepped up and made sure that he punched the holes through the Warrington defence with some great play on the horizontal. At number 10 is Jai Whitbread of Wakefield Trinity. Despite being on the losing side, we have to give a lot of credit to Mr. Whitbread. Playing in the props this week, 152 metres from 19 carries. He was busy, but to no avail. At number 11, it's Benjamin Julian of the Catalan Dragons. A vital try, making sure that they got into that 12 apiece golden point territory. And of course, without Mr. Julian's all-round great display, perhaps the Dragons couldn't have got there. At number 12, Chris McQueen. Once again, this is about his 3rd, 4th, maybe even 5th time he's been in our team of the week this season. Continues to play well, still without a club for 2023, but on this form, somebody will be snapping him up pretty quickly. And finally, at number 13, it's Brad Fash, perhaps one of the best mullets in Super League. Really good performance for Hull FC, especially in the first half. But despite his best efforts at loose forward, it was going to be Castleford's day. Ladies and gentlemen, your team of the week for round number 20. Team of the week for round number 20. There you go. Has to be done. Little cheeky one there for Mr. Fash at the end. But yeah, there you go. We had team of the week. Castleford galore in that one.
And deservedly so for that performance.
Deservedly so. A couple of KR players in there. And again, some losing, Warrington, Warrington lost, but Jake Ward was superb.
Raymond's flying around that he doesn't want to be there.
Well, it's one of those, isn't it? Who knows? I mean, he played very, very well. He played very, very well. against KR, as did Mr. Whitbread, Wakefield Trinity. Very solid, I'm led to believe, listening to some of the Wakey comments.
He's been a solid performer for Wakefield all season, I think, Jai Whitbread. Chris McQueen again. What? They're going to put an injunction out against us if we talk about Chris McQueen.
I know it's almost like with the love children.
It's embarrassing, but he's just an awesome player.
We're certainly not his love children, mate. He's got far more locks than me and you. Far more. But anyway, Mike Ward's in here. Actually, I think he's paying tribute to the fact that yet again the gift that keeps giving, our friend from St. Helens on Sky Sports, Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. Can you believe he called them the Wildcats? I mean, they've not been the Wildcats for how many seasons?
It's Mr. Bakerboard.
Yeah, that's who it is. He's again, just the gift that keeps on giving. Joel Scholes there saying great to see some new names, and you're quite right. Beretta Faraimo on debut on debut. Believe it or not, Harry Newman on debut, first time in the team of the week. Corbin Sims on debut.
And now that did surprise me about Corbin Sims, because he's been, when he's not been suspended or injured, he's been quite solid.
Absolutely, yeah. He's on debut. Also on debut will be Benjamin Julian.
I don't think we've mentioned old Benny before.
And Brad Fash on debut. So
he needs to get him for his mullet alone, mate. I think you've been a bit.
It's a quality mullet. Mate, it's a quality mullet.
It is. It's an absolute belt.
And on a week when Jason Donovan is returning to Neighbours for the grand finale, it's only right that we celebrate the mullet.
It's an emotional week, sir.
It's an emotional week for those Neighbours.
My daughter left primary school today, and it's the final Neighbours on Friday. It's an emotional week.
Emotional week. Absolutely couldn't agree with you more. Right. So straight in. Let's now quickly take a look, as we always do at this stage in the show. We're going to have a quick look at how they stand. Let's take a look at how they stand. The league as it stands.
Not good viewing if you're a Warrington to lose or win.
It could have been. Well, let me put it this way: it could have been a lot worse for Warrington fans. So let's take the joy whilst we can. But here we go. Here's the how they stand. St. Helens now looking absolutely nailed on for the league leaders shield. 34 points now and flying. Wigan Warriors, of course, holding second place on 28. Catalan, big game that. Catalan now leapfrogging Huddersfield to the top. Castleford Tigers, credit again to Lee Radford.
What a job he's doing, that guy at Castleford.
Yeah, one of the former teams.
Castleford, Huddersfield, Salford, the top six. Great. That's what the salary cap's all about, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, exactly. At the start of the season, nobody. I think the top three, you'd have said they've been certainly top six. We've probably Catalan and St. Helens in the top two. We fancied Wigan to have a good season. Would we have seen them second? Don't know. Certainly Catalan Saints. But you're quite right. Huddersfield, Castleford, Salford. To see them in those places.
And Hull, given Hull's bad recent form, that they're still points difference outside the top six.
Yeah, I just think at the moment, form doesn't line at this moment in time. And I think this is the interesting thing this season, because it is so tight down there. Form matters, form matters. And at the moment, it'd be interesting to see how Castleford go this weekend with the injuries that they've got. But Salford are in great form. Huddersfield, great form. So, you look at the other clubs, OKR, massive injury problems. FC, massive injury problems on the decline. I keep going back to Leeds. Leeds will fancy their chances sneaking into that top six.
Leeds have done what Leeds always do.
Come strong at the end. Yeah.
And they'll scrape into 5th, 6th, and could make the grand final and win it.
Yeah. Joel is saying it's a real competition this year. Let's see where they are in 7 weeks. You're right. There's another 7 rounds to go.
Which worries me as a Warrington fan.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is where we're going now. But before we do, congratulations to our fans forum who picked up 14 points last week. Greg, you picked up, I think it was 4, but I also owed you 2 from the week before that we haven't put on. They've been put on as well. So you've got up 6 on that graphic week on week. And of course, I think I picked up, did I pick up 6? I can't remember.
I think I must be the whole FC of predictions.
Well, they still all to play for. It's very tight. Lots of points still up for grabs between now and the end of the campaign. But yeah, the Super League Raw Fans Forum doing well. Fans Forum, by all means, those of you watching us tonight, get involved in this next bit. Let us know what your thoughts are as we take a quick look at the games that are coming in round 21. Tomorrow morning, from 9 o'clock, the fixtures for round 21 will be loaded up to the Fans Forum page on Facebook. Cast your votes in terms of who you think are going to win the games. Yep. You've got by 8, 9 to 17 or 18 plus to go for. Just put your team and by what margin in there. We'll do the rest. But at the moment, those of you who've been doing that all year, thank you very much indeed. And at the moment, you are winning 233 points. You are on fire. Right, round 21. Wigan taking on Hull KR. Toulouse at home to Hull FC. That's we'll get into it in a minute, but that's not a bad game if you're Toulouse Olympic at the moment. Castleford Tigers taking on Wakey. Again, if you're Wakey, not a bad game if the rumours around the Castleford squad are correct in terms of the amount of injuries they're carrying into those games. Then it's interesting because, of course, the two players that were swapped, who's going to come out on top? Is it King? Is it Wardle? That's going to be a question at Huddersfield Giants. And then, of course, the Leeds Rhinos, who couldn't go over to France in any better shape than what they were against Wigan, and of course have had a very long rest because of course they played on Thursday night and this game's on Saturday. So nice rest there for Leeds. This stage of the season. And then finally, not a gimme by any way, shape or form, Saints travel to Salford, who continue to impress. So let's take a look at the form guide. This is the first game live on Sky Sports Thursday night, 8 o'clock kickoff at the DW Stadium. The Wigan Warriors taking on Hull KR. Hull, of course, won the last two games, both pretty tight affairs, it has to be said. That result at Leeds, really, as the previous four show, nobody saw that coming.
No.
Wounded animal in the Wigan.
Yeah, definitely. Wigan will not let that happen again. Matt Pete will not let that happen again. Aided by the fact that I think Hull KR can only field 17 players and are giving debuts to quite a few kids of their youth team.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think we're going to win this by 18 plus.
I've got exactly the same way. I have to say though, I mean, Mr. Cooper didn't have the greatest of debuts, did he?
No, Agent Cooper did his job well, I think.
Yeah, he didn't do well.
He may not be. Well, he wasn't going to be anywhere near the starting lineup, but for illness, was he apparently? So he had a bench place.
Well, the Fans Forum are kicking it, limping in it. Alex Sharp winning by a lot, will bounce back. And John Costello, he's gone 28-8 to the Wigan Warriors. He's gone in there.
I think Wigan might pass the 40 mark here.
I think this could be a decent score.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that because I dislike Hull KR. I just think that they're struggling with injuries. And I think Wigan will be, it's like Liverpool in the 70s, 80s. You dreaded to play them if they're big.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. Mike Ward's going cricket score as well. He's going Wigan by a cricket score. Joel Scholes is going as far to say it could be a 0, which is that's an interesting one. By Joel, to be fair. So yeah, Wigan, we're going Wigan there. Right. We then go to Cass. I say Cass, arguably some of the best form in Super League. Obviously, that game at Magic would have disappointed them. But apart from that, when you look down that list, Catalan are on there, Huddersfield are on their great form this season. Of course, very, very good against Warrington and superb in the second half at Hull FC. Taking on a Wakefield team at the minute who, again, they're not Salford battered them, the Salford Wigan games, but Toulouse, tight, Hull KR.
Look at those last two games. Hull KR and St Helens.
Getting tighter.
Yeah. Castleford are struggling to get a team together.
That's what they're saying.
And if that's right, if Wakefield can perform how they performed on Sunday, I'm going for a Wakefield 9-17 win.
Oh, there you go. 9-17.
I hate to say that, but
yeah,
not because I dislike Wakefield. Yeah. As a Warrington fan, I need Castleford to win this game. But I think
do you know what?
It's true about Castleford being on the bare bones. If Wakefield can get that performance for 80 minutes that they did against Saints for around about 60.
Yeah.
I think I'm tipping Wakefield for this one, 9-17.
Do you know what? I think I'm going the opposite. I'm going Cas 9-17.
Okay.
I think even though there's injuries, I think the key men are still there.
I hope you're right. But I just get a feeling about this.
I think the key men are still there. I think Richardson's on fire. Eden playing well. Westerman huge. I think Cas will be okay. And do you know what? I think Radford must think they're going to be okay because, to be ravaged by injuries but still allow Gary to go out on loan says a lot. So
it's a strange decision given the fact that they're struggling to field a 17, according to Lee Radford.
Well, interesting. Yeah, but again, it could be a bit of bluff going on there. I mean, Andy and Sue are saying as well, don't forget Wakefield short turnaround Sunday to Friday, of course, as well in there. So
I just get one of those.
Those
feelings.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Equally, this one's going to be interesting. Toulouse taking on Hull FC. Toulouse again against Salford. Competitive. All right, second half disappointing, but competitive. Hull FC. I mean, with the exception, and let's be fair, that KR when at Magic could have gone either way. But I mean, look at the points.
That was a magnificent game.
Look at the points. I mean, Warrington 4-0. It was just the purest game. 62 Leeds put past them, 60 Wigan, 46 Castleford. Toulouse. I mean, can they do it?
I could see this being a golden point game.
Could you?
Yeah. I've gone Toulouse 0-8.
So you're going by 8, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going 9-17 to lose on this one. I think
I just get a feeling this could be one of those golden pointers.
Could be. Well, Alex Sharp believes that Hull FC will win it. Joel.
I hope you're right, Alex.
Yeah, Toulouse Olympic could put a number on FC. FC are very unpredictable. I agree. I think there's big problems at FC, unfortunately, and with suspensions and what have you. And the travel. I just think. Yeah, Toulouse could do this one, but it's going to be. And I think if Toulouse have got any ambition of staying in Super League, they have to win this one.
Yeah, haven't you gone Hull 9-17 though?
What on this one? No, Toulouse.
Oh, no, you went Toulouse 9-17. Yeah,
Toulouse.
Yeah.
I think this game is pivotal to Toulouse's chances of staying.
Me too. And I think 0-8. I think Hull will put a fight up. I really will. Hull put a fight up.
Will it be enough? Will it be enough? That's the question. Andy and Sue, 29 degrees Friday. Yes, down in the south of France. I'm taking into what they mean by that. So
40 degrees in Hull last week. That's no excuse.
True. So yes, we're both going to lose on that. Be interesting to see what the forum say when we take the votes on midday on Thursday when we take the votes from them. Right, then it's the Giants. The Giants been a bit, obviously massive disappointment against St. Helens. Really close. I mean, Joel said in the comments as we've been on air tonight that he was pleased with the fight back. Yes, they lost, but they were a lot better against Catalan than they were against St. Helens. When you look at who they've beaten in recent weeks, it's KR and I say that Salford are playing well. To be fair, Salford are playing very well. So no, I mean dear God, Warrington.
When you look at that record, though, it's exactly the same.
It's exactly the same. It is exactly the same. Of course, Castleford is a bit of a marker, 35-22, 26-18. You don't know which Warrington are going to turn up. Equally, and Huddersfield at the moment on that little bit of, it's like when Huddersfield came to the Alley, Warrington did a number on them, did a proper number on them.
I'm going to go with my heart rather than the head.
Go on.
My head says Huddersfield 9-17.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with my heart because we really need Warrington to win this.
Yeah.
And I think Powell has got to get his interchanges right. He's got to start with the right forwards and finish with the right forwards. He has to do that this week. He has to do that.
Yeah.
He can't have any more David Moyes moments as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to go Warrington 9-17 because I think they have to win it. And I think maybe the impact of Dufty, wherever he plays him, may well be that kind of X factor. And
they need something.
My head says Huddersfield, but I've got to go with my heart because if Warrington loses,
it's trouble.
It's trouble.
It's trouble. You know, there's no two ways about it. It's trouble. I'm gonna go wire. I'm just gonna go by 8 though. I think this will be a proper tussle.
I don't care if it's by 1. If it's by 100, I don't care.
Greg Roach is saying rumor has it that Chris Hill may be back for this one. That's an interesting one. And Joel is saying,
at least we'll get a few penalties under the sticks then.
Yeah, exactly. That'll balance out Ratchford.
That's always a boost.
That'll balance out Ratchford, won't it? Right. Catalan's taking on Leeds. I mean, like I say, Leeds couldn't come into this really in any better shape. I mean, for confidence, that Wigan result will have done them no harm whatsoever. As for Catalan, up until that very tight win against Salford, fair to say they've been, the last 2 performances, especially when you consider who they lost to. To lose to Warrington and Warrington's form, to lose to Salford, when you consider where Catalan are in the league, that'll have hurt him. There's no question about that. To lose to Saints is no disgrace, 20 points to 18. Sorry, to win. Sorry, they beat Saints. They beat Saints 2018. But Leeds will come into this firing. They'll come into it.
It's a tight one, this, because Cats have still got a lot of injuries.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to go. Leeds are. They're not. It's wrong to say Leeds are on a roll because of that Toulouse result.
Yeah.
Take that Toulouse result out of the way. Hull, Casford, Wigan. That's they're great results. I'm going to go Leeds 0-8 because I think the injury problems with Cats are taking their toll, and if Leeds play like they did against Wigan, that they should win. But I think it will be 0-8.
I'm going Leeds 9-17.
Right. Okay.
I think for me, I think they'll go into that game confident. Don't know at the moment. Catalan just seems to be having a little bit of a wobble for me.
I think it's the injuries.
Yeah, and a little bit of that. I'm going to go Leeds. I'm going to give Leeds a bit of a goal there, and then we come up against. I mean, look at this for records. Credit to Salford. They're on a right run again. Didn't suit them at the Magic Weekend, but beating the teams at the lower half of the table, exactly what you need to be able to do if you're going to be sneaking into the top 6. That Catalan result, very, very impressive. Saints, on the other hand, like the Wigan piece, they got over the line, but they won't. Again, the professionalism of Saints, they will be very disappointed in how they played against Wakefield.
Yeah. They should have lost.
They will treat it as a loss. That's what winning teams do. Even though they got the 2 points, they will treat that mentally as a loss.
And they should have lost. Their performance was. I don't know if we have any Saints fans who tune into us, but they should have lost it. They should have lost it, and I think that is the kick up the backside that Saints probably need now. And I as much as it'd be great to see a Salford win. I think Saints 9-17.
I've got exactly the same. I think it won't be a 3-trier. I don't think. Saying that, a lot of love for Salford here. Joel's going Salford to nick it. Steve Doyle has come in. Hello, Steve. He's saying Salford by 8. A bit of love there coming in for Salford. And you know what? Fair play. I think Salford at the moment, from an attacking perspective, I think the problem is they're going to. I think where this is perhaps going to be a little bit tough for Salford is down the middle. They're coming up at again because of injuries. Salford's biff, for want of a better word, not quite there. Whereas Saints have got it in.
I think if Saints had steamrolled Wakefield last week, they put 50 or 60 points past Wakefield.
Yeah,
I might have quite fancied Salford this weekend.
Yeah,
but I don't think Christian Wolff is the type of coach that will let Saints have 2 performances like that on the bounce, and that's unfortunate for Salford.
Come at the wrong time.
Maybe if Saints had played Salford last week, Salford might have won.
Yeah.
But I see Saints 9-17.
Yeah, and I'm with you.
Away with it.
Yeah, And just to bring a little bit of clarity to our predictions, we are losing to the Fans Forum. So what the hell do we know? Fans Forum, get in there.
We are outnumbered though, sir, but we're outnumbered by a couple of thousand too.
We get, yeah, exactly. But you know what? We do it fair. We count them up. Freddie McGilvery is saying Saints comfortably. He thinks in that one as well.
Could very well be right, sir.
Could very well be right. As always, ladies and gentlemen, time flies by when we do this on a Tuesday night. As always, love your company. Thanks very much for all your support, for watching us on a Tuesday.
Thank you to everybody who's joined us on Facebook this week. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the community is growing. That's down to you guys sharing and posting.
Yeah, and get us on Twitter, get us on Facebook, get us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Get us out there, guys, please.
As we always say, you can't beat a bit of weekly. Yes, we've talked a little bit about Warrington today, but not totally. Is what I would say. Not totally. We've tried to be balanced in what we.
It's just that Warrington are a talking point, mate. They're
they are a talking point.
You look on Facebook and everybody's basically laughing.
Oh, they're loving it. Yeah, they're loving it. And you know what? If I remember the year when Wigan should have been relegated and salary caps were breached and they stayed up, and there was a lot of delight. There was a lot of indeed, but hey, not controversial. They broke the salary cap.
Well, they were fine the season after, weren't
they? Were. They broke the salary cap. So
Castleford went down that year.
There you go. So there's nothing controversy. It's in the record books. As they always say, opinions are merely the difference between ignorance and fact, and that was a fact. I was saying no opinion there. But anyway, yes. Mike's gone in. Mike said.
Thank you.
Mike Ward said the Rugby Football League won't let Warrington go down.
Oh, believe me, Mike, they will let Warrington go down.
Yeah, Joel is asking, are we going to Huddersfield? Do you know what? I really fancy going to Huddersfield. I do. Unfortunately, I'm working on Saturday.
Yeah, and I've got a daughter in a game that day. So.
I would have been down. I like going to Huddersfield, but unfortunately, I'm working. Unfortunately, I can't get out of that. So, Joel, we will, I'm sure, catch up next season for a pint, either at our place or at yours.
King's Head, sir. King's Head.
Yeah, well, we do intend. I mean, again, for the fans that are still on, there's quite a few here. Next year, we are going to be trying to get ourselves to a few away games next year, as many as we can. What we'll be doing is putting a plea out to you guys when we do the show, where you're taking us for a pint. And we'll come and have a drink with you before the game. So
definitely.
So that's what we'll do. So anyway, we always go out the same way every single week. We go out with the top performers of Super League 2022 thus far. A couple of movers and shakers. We know that Ken CO is now level on the try scoring charts. A couple of movers and shakers this week. But ladies and gentlemen, join us again this time next week, Tuesday, 8 o'clock,
guys,
for more weekly. Thanks very much. See you next week.
A lot. See you next week, guys.